Hello and welcome to Gardening with Ben's award-winning podcast, as voted by Grow Your Own magazine and by my followers and listeners. So if you're new to the podcast, make sure you click that subscribe button to stay up to date with all our podcasts, listen back to all our previous episodes, sit back, grab a brew and let's enjoy today's episode. Hello and welcome to your episode of Gardening with Ben. It's Monday and we're still not at the allotment as yet, as the snow is still around here in Sheffield. It snowed really heavy yesterday in Sheffield, and it is starting to melt now as it's warming up again and the temperature's getting to a decent temperature. I think it's going to be 11 degrees tomorrow, so hopefully it will have all cleared and I'll be able to get down to the allotment and spend some time down there. I can't believe I've got some time off, and the only time that I've got off is bad weather, which is unfortunate, or should I say fortunate, because I can stay in and stay warm and record these podcasts. So hopefully we get some work done at home, as I've been busy preparing all my December articles ready to share with you all. I share the links to them on my Facebook and my Instagram, so if you're not following me on them, make sure you do follow me, and also hopefully get some YouTube videos filmed. So if you're not following me on YouTube, do give me a follow, because I'm doing quite a few videos on there and people do like the videos to see what exactly I'm doing and sharing those tips with you all. So the recent video which I've created is the best gardening magazines for beginners. Yes, there's so many gardening magazines out there and I tend to purchase quite a few of them. The ones that I purchase are the Grow Your Own magazine, the Kitchen Garden magazine, and I've just purchased for the first time this month the Gardener's World magazine. I've never purchased that one before, so I'm looking forward to reading it and seeing what it's all about. But as you know, I was nominated for the Grow Your Own awards, which I won, and for Best Gardening Podcast, so thanks for those that did vote for me. And yeah, which magazine is the best gardening magazine for beginners? Well, the magazines which I would recommend are the ones where you get free gifts in them. They're not actually free because you're paying for the magazine, so you're probably paying for them anyway, but they are worthwhile buying. Is the Kitchen Garden magazine and the Grow Your Own magazine for definite, because in the Kitchen Garden magazine you're guaranteed to get 10 free packets of seeds every single month. I've not known a month when they don't give you free seeds, and a lot of people do complain in the Grow Your Own magazine if they don't provide the free seeds. They don't always put free seeds in, they sometimes put books in, which can be useful as well, but everybody does love the free seeds. This month there was 5 free packets in the Grow Your Own magazine and 10 in the Kitchen Garden magazine. So them seeds are always ones that you can plant in the coming months. They usually put the right seeds in for the coming months what are coming, so that you can sow them yourselves. And the best thing is for getting the free seeds in the magazine is that they're probably sometimes seeds that you probably wouldn't purchase if you went to a garden centre. So there may be different varieties, or it might be a vegetable that you've never heard of before, or some herbs which you've never tried before. But sometimes you think, oh, I'll just sow them and see how they get on, which I did once with some cauliflower, purple growing cauliflower. I'd have never been and bought the seeds in the garden centre, and I grew them, and they're the best cauliflowers that I have ever grown. So I've continued growing them because I knew they were good, and that's the best thing about getting free stuff, is if you don't try it, you won't know if you like it or not. So it's good to experiment and try different things when you're growing stuff. And in my YouTube video I show you all the free seeds which come with the magazine, and it's definitely worth a watch. You'll get to see all the seeds which have come in the magazine. I'll drop the link in the description to the YouTube video for you to go and watch and go and enjoy as well. And in the Gardener's World magazine it came with a free calendar, so if you're a Monty Don fan you'll get to see him on your wall for many months. One day, you never know, it might be gardening with Ben on a calendar. It is an idea that I've had, and quite a few people have suggested that I do a calendar, so we'll have to watch that space and see if we do it, because I'd love to do this full time if I could. So if anybody's got any suggestions of what I could do to be able to do this full time, do let me know. Obviously, if I had millions of listeners, I wouldn't have to go to work, but the money that I get from the podcast goes towards hosting of it. So if we get loads more followers, we'll get this to do this full time. So keep sharing my podcasts to your Instagram stories, because obviously the more people it reaches, the more listeners we get, and we get about 100 listens a day, which is fantastic. But yeah, if we got 1,000 listens a day, wow, then yeah, that'd be brilliant. So I'll keep recording these episodes, keep getting new followers, and I hope people do click that subscribe button to stay up to date with all my episodes, because you get notified as well when new episodes come on. I try to do them on a daily basis, but it depends if I'm working or if I'm feeling well enough to do it. But yeah, I try to do them on a regular basis. So having gardening magazines is great for beginners, because they share tips and advice on what to do that coming month. Like the magazines that I've purchased in December are for January, so you can read up all about it before that month actually comes, and you can learn about all the different things what you need to be doing. So in this month's episode, in this month's magazines, there's quite a bit about pruning and telling you the best ways to prune your trees, as you don't prune your plum trees, you only prune your apple trees and your pear trees around this time of month, and it gives you tips on stuff like that. And then you'll get articles from people that I may follow on Instagram, and it's just amateur gardeners sharing tips and advice with other people. And that's what I enjoy doing about this podcast, is that I'm an amateur gardener. I still class myself as an amateur gardener, even though I've been doing it 16 years, and sharing the tips with other people. So it's great to see what other people do and what other people say, because there's new methods and new ways of trying stuff all the time in gardening, and it's always a learning game. And that's what I enjoy about gardening. Nothing's ever the same. Nothing grows the same. Nothing's planted the same. Everything grows different every single year. You can't get a successful thing every single year. So it's the joys of learning and trying new things. So if I could recommend a magazine, a gardening magazine for a newbie, I would probably say the Kitchen Garden magazine, because it comes with the 10 free packets every single month, and it's full to brimming with tips and advice. But yeah, until I've read the Gardener's World magazine, I can't really recommend that yet, because I've not read it. It's more, the Gardener's World magazine is more for all gardens, not just the vegetable gardens. It's for flowers as well, so I'm learning more and more about flowers. So that's one of the reasons why I purchased it, because I'd like to learn more about growing flowers and looking after shrubs and stuff like that. There's new things that I want to learn all the time. I feel that I know a lot about vegetables, but there's new vegetables coming out as well, so there's always new articles to read and enjoy. And the magazines give me inspiration on what to talk about in my podcasts, as there's articles and it'll just give me a trigger to find a new subject to talk about, because it's so hard finding different subjects to talk about every single day. I try my best, but sometimes I'm obviously repetitive. Some of my episodes are basically quite similar, but I do try to find new topics to talk about every single day, and I hope you do enjoy them. I get a lot of good comments in the reviews. If you listen to on Apple, please do leave me a review, as it does help get seen by other podcasts. And keep streaming them, because I do look at the Apple podcast charts, and I'm currently number 26. I would love to get in the top 10. I doubt I'll ever get to number 1 in the Apple podcast charts, but that would be brilliant. We will see about that. But yeah, that would be really amazing. But yeah, the main podcasts that are like number 1 are all the BBC ones, obviously, because they do get a big following. But one day we may be up at the top of the charts, and you never know, we might just get there. So go out, have a look, see what gardening magazines you want to purchase, have a look what you get free with them, see if they're any good for you. Let me know in the comments if there is any. Well, you can't let me know in the comments. Send me a message via Instagram if there is a gardening magazine that you have, what I've not mentioned, because I'm always on the lookout for different types of magazines to read. So let me know by message, and yeah, it's always good to talk to my followers as well. If you want to have a chat, send me a message and I'll chat back to you. It's great to interact with all my followers, and I do enjoy that. That's one good thing about this Facebook page and Instagram page, is that I've got to know a lot of people and made a lot of new friends from the followers that I have. And it's great to hear where people are listening to as well, around the country or around the world, because I do look at the stats of where people are listening, and there's followers in Canada, people in Germany, people in America, and obviously in England. There's quite a lot in England. But yeah, it's good to see that it's actually being listened to around the world, and that people are getting enjoyment from this podcast, because I've been doing it 1 year now. I can't believe I've been doing it for 1 year, and there's over 110 episodes. So if you are new to the podcast channel, go back to the beginning and stream all the episodes. It'll certainly keep you busy for some time. Have a listen to them while you're walking the dog, out in the garden, having a brew, driving to work. You can put them through your speakers in your car now. So yeah, have a listen and stream all my episodes. If you've got any suggestions of what you would like me to talk about in the episodes, again, send me a message and I'll try and find out some information, talk about it. I have to research these episodes, because some things I don't know, some things I do know, so I have to research about what to talk about and whether I'm telling you the right things as well, because I'm not a trained gardener. I haven't got any qualifications in gardening, so sometimes I don't always tell the right things, but people do let me know, and it's good to know that. I shared a picture recently on Instagram of what I thought was Christmas cactuses, which I purchased because I bought them now. I thought they'd be Christmas cactuses, but no, they're Thanksgiving cactuses. There's apparently different varieties of them, which I never knew. So I've learnt something new. Again, I'm always learning, and it's great for people to let me know. And it's the way that you learn how to garden, by people sharing their tips and advice with you. So hopefully we will be back at the allotment tomorrow. Hopefully we'll be getting on with those jobs. I've got broad beans to plant. I've got my apple trees to prune. I've got parts of my plot to clear. There's so much to be doing at the allotment at the moment. I've got improvements in my shed to do. I need to build some new shelving. I've got a load of wood for it. I just need to get round to actually building it and getting some new shelving up, because I need to get it all ready for spring. It will soon be upon us, and we'll soon be sowing all them seeds. So make sure you stay up to date with all about seed growing, because I'll be sharing lots of tips about sowing all your seeds over the next coming months, and talking about different things that we can be planting, as I've been looking at what needs to be done in December, and there's quite a few plants that we can be sowing in December, so stay tuned for that. I'm going to be getting my seed lists ready of what I need to be starting to grow, and I've got so many seeds at home, it's unbelievable. I must have about 200 packets of seeds. Just think, if I'm getting 10 free packets of seeds in a magazine a month, in 2 magazines, that must be about 200 packets of seeds a year I'm getting free. And I'll have to open up my own little shop soon of all the seeds that I've got in my house, because I've got so many. So that might be a snowy day job today to get all them sorted out, so stay tuned for that if I do, because I'll be sharing a video of all the seeds that I've got at home. So yeah, I hope that you all have a fantastic Monday. I hope we do get back to the allotment tomorrow, and as always, remember, please do share this on your Instagram stories of my podcast, and that would be much appreciated, and tag me in it so that I know that you've done it. Until next time, remember, keep smiling, keep gardening, and keep listening to Gardening with Ben. So thank you for listening to today's episode of Gardening with Ben. We hope that you've enjoyed this episode. Remember to do click that subscribe button to stay up to date with all our podcasts. Feel free to share them on your Instagram stories so that it spreads the word about my podcast and we get lots more listeners. Feel free to check out my social media sites, Facebook and Instagram as well, Gardening with Ben, and also my YouTube channel, to stay up to date with all my handy videos, how-to videos, and sharing my tips and advice. And feel free to check the link as well in the description for my Gardening with Ben t-shirts. Lots of funny gardening design t-shirts in there for you to purchase at great prices too. So thanks again, and as always, remember, keep smiling and keep gardening.